Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bunnies, and in this video we're going to get back to this how to drawing series that I started about 2 years ago. This series was actually incomplete and I feel like a lot of you have been asking for it to return, so here we are with a brand new video. We're going to be focusing on how to draw the human body. I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks that I've learned over the years. I'm not necessarily a pro at drawing human bodies yet, but these tips and tricks have definitely made life easier and I feel like I've learned so much. This video will be a focus on female human bodies, and then we're gonna have one for males, just because there's a difference in the physique and proportion. So I think it's just best to separate and focus on one at a time. So without further ado, grab your sketchbooks and your pencils and let's just jump right into it. One of the first tricks I'm going to show you is the head stacking method. Now, a female character is about 7 to 8 heads tall. So what this means is that when you're drawing a character, you start with the head first. Depending on the length of the head, you can then measure in 7 to 8 equal parts downwards, and this will determine the height of your character. For female characters, that's usually between 7 heads to 8 heads. The sweet spot that I like to use is about 7.5 heads tall. This head method not only determines the height of your character, but it also helps to proportion out the various shapes of the body. So I'm just going to number them for you. So we've drawn about 8 heads for this sort of guide. And now I'm going to point out where specific key points of the body appear with this 8 head guide. So we have the chin, which comes directly below the first head. We have the bust, which appears a little bit above the end of the second head to the bottom of the second head. We have the waist, which is in between head 3 and head 4. We have the crotch area, which is in between head 4 and 5. Mid-thighs, middle of head 5. We have the knees, middle of head 6. We have the middle of the calves in more or less the middle of head 7, and then the bottom of the feet in the middle of head 8, or also you can do the end of head 8 depending on the character. That goes without saying that, of course, depending on the character that you're drawing, whether that character is shorter or taller, you would adjust accordingly. But this is a pretty rough guide in terms of where certain areas of the body can come. I'm a little bit upset because I didn't want to put the guide that I did on the left in practice for you, and I recorded this character that I drew, but the recording was corrupt, so yay! So all we have is this kind of like still footage here of the character, but nonetheless maybe I could use it and show you exactly what I did. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put on this overlay and I'll show you exactly sort of how I built the character and proportioned the body parts. Hopefully that gave you a good visualization of how I was able to put things together on paper. Now we're going to use the same method and I'm going to draw a character that has a different body shape. Another tip that I have, especially for beginners, is when you're starting out, I would recommend you draw the head first. And once the head is done, you basically use a ruler to measure the length of the head. And then from that point on, you can kind of roughly sketch in some lines, some guiding lines that will help you build the rest of the body. Another tip that I have for you, especially if you're a beginner, is to find really good reference photos. Something that I used to do in my early days of learning how to draw was to find reference photos online. I would use Pinterest and or DeviantArt. I would find a reference photo that I'd like to draw and basically just open up Photoshop with that image and put an overlay of shapes. I would put an overlay of the heads that I showed you at the beginning of this video and any sort of other supporting guideline that would give me an indication as to where to draw what body part and why. Doing this a couple times at the very beginning really helped to put things into perspective, and with the next few drawings that I did, I slowly developed an eye for it, and over time I was able to kind of forego the ruler or didn't really need any sort of guiding lines, and it just became really easy. And then the same methods could be applied to dynamic poses. Although I do have to say that dynamic poses are quite challenging to do. Proportions may seem a little bit skewed depending on the perspective of the character, so keep that in mind. But nonetheless, I think it's a super fun challenge to give yourself if you want to learn how to draw bodies better. To summarize the main tips of this video, when drawing a human body, whether male or female, you can use the head stacking method. So start off by drawing the head and then basically kind of visualize either with a ruler or just with your eye 7 to 8 heads downwards, and this will be the height of your character. Of course, adjust accordingly depending on the type of character you're drawing. You can have shorter characters, you can have taller characters, but this sort of head stacking method based off of the height of the head is a pretty accurate way to then proportion out the rest of the body. Using the heads, you can also then just kind of visualize the key areas of where certain parts of the body can come into play. And then essentially you can go ahead and flesh out the character with the sort of guiding lines that you drew or visualized. Overall, I think that this head stacking method is extremely fun, and it actually helps to build characters, whether they're just kind of like straight on boring standing characters or whether they're in a dynamic pose. I feel I've been able to adjust my characters depending on the body shape as well. With this head stacking method, it works quite well for any sort of character that I'm drawing, and it has helped me build characters and learn how to draw characters quickly. I'd be curious to know if you have tried out this method or if you have your own way of drawing characters. Let me know in the comments below. I plan on doing another one for more male bodies. I think there's a bit of a difference, or a subtle difference, so I'll see to make a video for that as well. If there's any other sort of video you would like to see for this series, please let me know as well in the comments below. As always, check out my social links in the description: Instagram, Facebook, and my personal website, The Year of Fallen Stars. I do have a book that's coming out October 3rd. More information to come on this channel about that, but yeah, I'd be grateful for the support there. And yeah, thanks for watching this video. I hope it did help you, and I wish you all a lovely rest of the week and weekend.